Most of us have looked up at the sky and seen it, a jet leaving a long white line behind it. From the ground, it almost looks like it's moving slowly, calmly drifting across the blue. But in reality, that aircraft is racing through the sky at over 800 kilometers per hour, in temperatures colder than Antarctica, in an environment humans were never meant to survive in. And if you've ever flown before, you might have noticed something strange. No matter where you're going, most commercial airplanes seem to cruise at almost the exact same height, usually somewhere between 35,000 and 40,000 feet. That's a tiny slice of the sky when you think about it. Space doesn't even begin until hundreds of thousands of feet above Earth. So why do airplanes stick to this narrow band? Why not fly much higher to avoid turbulence and weather completely? The answer comes down to a delicate balance between physics, engineering, and human survival. Closer to the ground, the air is thick and dense. That's great for breathing, but terrible for efficiency. When a plane moves through dense air, it experiences a lot more resistance, also known as drag. It's like trying to run through water instead of air. The engines have to work harder, burning significantly more fuel just to maintain speed. So, aircraft climb higher. At around 35,000 feet, the air becomes much thinner. With less resistance, planes can travel faster while using less fuel. This is one of the main reasons commercial flights operate at high altitudes. It's far more efficient. But there's a limit. Jet engines rely on oxygen to function. As altitude increases, the air gets thinner, meaning there's less oxygen available. Climb too high, and the engines can't generate enough power to keep running properly. At the same time, wings need air to create lift. With fewer air molecules at extreme altitudes, it becomes harder for the wings to keep the aircraft in the sky. This creates what pilots consider a sweet spot. Not too dense, not too thin, where both the engines and wings can perform efficiently. But there's an even more critical factor, and it's something known in aviation as the coffin corner. As a plane climbs higher, it needs to fly faster to generate enough lift in thinner air. If it slows down too much, it risks a stall, where the wings can no longer support the aircraft. At the same time, there's also a maximum speed limit. At high altitudes, the speed of sound actually decreases due to lower temperatures. If an aircraft goes too fast, airflow over the wings can approach the speed of sound, creating shockwaves that disrupt lift and can cause serious structural stress. So, as altitude increases, something dangerous happens. The minimum safe speed goes up, and the maximum safe speed comes down. Eventually, those two speeds get closer and closer together. At a certain point, there's almost no margin left. Fly slightly too slow, and the plane stalls. Fly slightly too fast, and you risk damaging the aircraft. That narrow, dangerous zone is what pilots call the coffin corner. And it's one of the main reasons commercial planes don't fly higher. There's also another critical limitation: us. At cruising altitude, the air outside the plane is extremely thin, with very little oxygen. Without protection, a person would lose consciousness in seconds. That's why airplane cabins are pressurized, keeping the environment safe and comfortable for passengers. But engineers always plan for worst-case scenarios. If the cabin were to suddenly lose pressure at typical cruising altitude, pilots have enough time to descend quickly to a safer level where people can breathe normally.